What is going on, everybody? It is I, Codemaster Hard Rock. We are back in it again. If you have not, I haven't decided if this video is going to go up first or my Where the Heck Have I Been video. But whichever one comes first, I still want to throw this out there, which is I met Dan Green and Sean Schemmel finally, and I got myself some signed goodies. I was signed Tenga Toborn, Screamer, and Maxor, Protector of Param. It looks great. So this video I wanted to talk about cool accessories that I think Chaotic should have in the future. And by extension, Powerline Ultra, which is a card game I created based on fighting games. One thing that I have over here that's a little bit off camera that you can't see is that I have a card storage, what I like to call a garage. There's 1, 2, 3, 4... So there's 12 800 count card boxes, which is where my microphone sits at right now for me to do voice acting again. And that is where I think something should be taken into consideration. What if there was like a Battledrome style card storage thing? I think that would be super cool and super neat. I don't know how you would do it theming based on drones, but I feel like you could do it based on tribe maybe. So maybe like Overworld, Underworld, Danian, Mapedian, Marillion, Tribeless, but Tribeless isn't a tribe. It's not, so don't get that twisted now. I think that would be really cool. It's like some sort of massive storage container. And speaking of storage, this video is brought to you by Arcane Fortress, and they were so gracious enough to send me a Hidden Island Radiant 100 card count deck box with 3 different card dividers included. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold it a little closer towards the camera. If you guys want to read that little spot, go ahead and pause it. I am going to break down a little bit what we see right here as well. Holds 100 double sleeve cards, comes with 3 dividers, water resistant nanofiber material, holds multiple dice sets, protective microfiber interior, and strong N38 magnets. And they have like the stained glass vibe to them. They reached out to me and they're like, can we do a sponsor video? And I said, yes. And after much delay and dilly-dallying, we were finally here, and this is their logo. Super sick. If I want to do something with Powerline Ultra with them, let me know, because I think doing an Arcane Fortress themed PLU thing would be so sick. So right off the bat, look at that. It's got like an ocean crash situation. You're looking at it all the way around. It looks like this magnet goes all the way around it. So let's just bust this thing open and take out. Oh man. So okay. Well, when I first opened it, it has this beautiful stained glass situation going on. Oh, is it removable? Oh, there we go. Oh, whoa, that was weird. So I was not expecting that. So check it. So this little side pocket jumps out, and we can remove that. I wonder, can we remove this little bit? It does not look to be the case, but it's so interesting because, let's see, didn't it say comes with 3 dividers? So what is that? Oh, I see. These are the dividers. I don't know why my brain was thinking like different like covers, but these are dividers that you could separate your decks and stuff. So that's neat, and it's actually got like this really nice material. It's, how do I describe it? It kind of reminds me of pleather in a way, but it features the absolute gorgeous stained glass style art that you see sporting right like here. Like, this is crazy. Like, if this was a stage in Powerline Ultra, I'd be losing my mind. But the interior is kind of like, you know, your standard, you know, run-of-the-mill card interiors that you would find at like a Card Zone or what have you. I feel like that's pretty standard. But yeah, this is dice storage right here. That is super sick. And it comes separate. Like, that's actually really cool. And yeah, it just magnetizes like that. And that's crazy. Like, and folding it up, like, that's satisfying. This is really satisfying, actually. Wow, like, I'm actually kind of impressed. And by kinda, I mean very. So we're gonna toss that aside, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up this empty deck box, and by that I mean we're gonna go over here and throw away another empty deck box. We're gonna grab like a small handful of chaotic cards instead for my loose stash, shall we? So these are obviously standard size cards. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bust this bad boy open and put some chaotic cards in there. So it looks like you can do it this way, right like that, right like so. Obviously this is me just kind of showing off like, yes, it can store this, but it looks like it can store 100 double sleeved cards. My question is, can it fit top loaders? It looks like it doesn't, but then again, it's not made for top loaders. It's made for decks and stuff. So let's say, oh man, I have my chaotic cards right here. I'm gonna boop, put that in right in there. Oh, I want to put my Duel Masters light deck in there like that. Can it fit extra sleeves? Oh man, look at that. You can also kind of have it as like sleeve storage. Holy, oh my god, like that's awesome. And none of the cards are bending or crimping. This is sick. This is genuinely sick. Oh man, I got no other words, guys. Like, the results are there in front of your face. Go to Arcane Fortress, use my link down below, and get yourself something cool. Like, seriously, I'm actually gonna recommend this one in particular. God, I threw away the box already. Rewound to what I just said. You want to get this one. This one is super sick. They have other ones, but I could definitely tell that they're Magic the Gathering oriented. They should definitely do some chaotic themed ones. So my question now to you guys is, for the comments, what kind of theming would you want to see? I think like if we did like Underworld City, like stained glass style, that'd be really, really sick. Or maybe Powerline Ultra, like do one of the characters in it. Anyhow, thank you Arcane Fortress for sponsoring this video and helping keep the lights on, so to speak. Alright, back to the topic at hand, folks. Some other accessories that Chaotic should have that I'll be putting on screen as well. Card sleeves. So I know they did stuff with Upper Deck back in the day. I feel like that was a good step forward, but I feel like we could do better. Because there's other companies like Katana and, you know, this is just right off the top of my head. I'm looking right here. Which company is this? Just Sleeves. It's called Just Sleeves. That's the brand, Just Sleeves. These are like your cheapo brands. I got them at work, and they're awesome. They're fun. They do everything that they need to do and more. And yeah, I feel like that should be kind of standard, is sleeves. I argue like you could do some for like different tribes or, you know, different characters and such that are important to the chaotic mythos. You know, you have obviously Maxor, Kaor, Tanith Toborn, Lord Von Blue, Takinam, Intress, Prince Mudinu, you have Thebsar, you have all kinds of characters that you could throw in there. Queen Azazel? Yeah, her. The new Queen of the Danians. I feel like those would be absolute killer ideas. And just as well, like, going off the theme of this, I think this is ultimately going to be the big hungry theme here. Wow, look at that. And there's even like a little hoo-ha. And you can kind of set it up like this if you want. You can put dice in there. You can roll in there. See? There you go. Another thing, which this is the ultimate reminder of, dice or counters in general. I feel like how cool would it be if you had like chaotic themed dice? Like one of them would be like Underworld themed, or you have like a dice that has like a music counter on it. What if you had like music counter dice? Like, you know how Magic the Gathering has the rolled countdown dice, like the D20s that go like from like the symbol which represents 1 all the way to 20, and you have to like twist it to like get to that position. I feel like Chaotic should have something like that. Or if we, oh man, go to my ultimate thing, which is my card storage container, which by the way has the Game On Expo logo. And we met Kevin Bayless, who created Killer Instinct. Huge shout out to him. He was such a trooper, a wonderful individual, and helped create Powerline Ultra in a sense. Like, he inspired. But this video is not about PLU. It's about Chaotic. So we're going to take out your trusty Underworld deck, and something that was created at my job, or rather for my job. I'm sure other shops have this. This is a dialed down 3D printed life counter. So for instance, like this would represent 0, and then you twist it a little bit, you see how it's like 10 right there? There's that. But I feel like something like this would be super neat to either help keep track of like stats or keep track of energy or what have you, because you can have it like power, or rather courage, power, wisdom, speed. You can have that, and each one represents, like, you can have one that's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and you can just keep going. You can have it like at any size that you want. I just feel like this as a concept would be super smart, and you can have like the chaotic logo on the side. For an example, the store that I work for, Retro Exchange, has the logo for their character Rex. Super neato. This is like something I always have with me. I mean, it's to a point where I have 2 of them. So if that doesn't illustrate it, you know, I don't know what else would. Just as well, you know, going in here, if we revisit like the counter thing, I have these 3D printed music counters. I can't remember where I printed these myself. I'll put a link to the file in the description below as well. These are so sick, and you can get them in like the right shape too, because it's like, here we have a similarly shaped +1, -1 counter, and you see how it's even like the perfect size too. Like it's the exact same size. So like these would be so sick to have. And I feel like Chaotic needs TCG support. It doesn't need like the series support or anything like that, because the people who are into Chaotic, they know what it is. They know what they're getting into. I feel like, and I argue, the people who are fresh, have no idea what Chaotic is, and just want to get into it, I feel like it'd be really smart to push the card game side of it. Like, obviously, you have the show tie-in and all that, but you have these supplement materials for the game. So you have like counters, you have your dice, you have sleeves, deck boxes, all that fun stuff. But I feel like if you really want to splash the show in, what I think they should do, and I don't know how they would be able to do this, re-release the show on DVD. You could buy it on Amazon, and you could watch it on Tubi and Peacock, respectively. If people were able to physically buy the Chaotic DVD, or the complete series, or even like seasons or volumes, like how they did back at the 4Kids era, that would be super neato. And what you can do, remember back in the day, for anyone that's watching this video, do you remember when people would buy like the Avatar: The Last Airbender DVDs, or when they would buy like a Yu-Gi-Oh DVD or a Pokemon DVD, and it would come with like a promo card with it? How sick would it be if the movies or any DVD release came with a specific card? They did that with the Chaotic Shadow Warriors card video game, which, granted, I argue that also presents a different side of Chaotic that I feel like could be another format, like Shadow Warriors mode. I feel like there's a little bit something to that. Genuinely, I feel like with enough tweaking and enough rule splashing, you can kind of figure something out with that. I don't know. That's something I could talk to Brian Gannon about and like see if that's like something worth noting. Other things that would be really, really cool off the top of my head, like with that whole DVD situation, because with the video game, you have to worry about like mixed stats and all that, and I'm sure that could be a pain in the butt for a lot of people involved. So what you can do is, what if you did like an exclusive attack or a location or battle gear or music that's directly tied into it? So for an example, right, like the first one, Dawn of Param, Tom uses Fortissimo, and that was his music of choice. Why not have like a very cool exclusive art that's for Fortissimo that either is directly tied to the show, like where it's a screen grab straight up from the show, or it could be a picture of Maxor using Fortissimo. I found it interesting that with music cards, let's see, right off here, see, like right off the frame, I could just whip these out. This is so nice. This is so nice. So like right off the top of my head, let's scroll through here real quick. These are just a bunch of Chaotic cards that I just have lying around. So for an example, right? Oh shoot, that's a creature. Okay. let's use Strain of the Tide, for instance. You see how it's kind of like full art in a way, where like it stretches beyond like the text box and stuff? The text box itself is pure white, like you cannot see through it. How cool would it be if you did like a exclusive full art version of like a Mujic or a creature or an attack or just any card, an exclusive promo version of said card? Like what Shadow Warriors did was they had characters like Ursanog. And Ursanog is so cool, but the problem is that the aftermarket wants to trade these cards in and, or rather buy the game, either keep the game for themselves or sell the game for stupid cheap, but have the card. Most people are buying that stuff for the card. And for people like myself who don't have a physical way of putting Chaotic into your current consoles or whatever to rewatch the show with like your nieces and nephews or with your girlfriend, boyfriend, your significant other, whatever, there's like this weird glare thing. I don't know what it is. My lighting's not good right now. Anyway, getting distracted. That's the ADHD. I feel like it's kind of criminal we don't have a way to rewatch Chaotic. Like for Sonic X, for instance, there are Sonic X DVDs out there, but there isn't really many Chaotic DVDs. And those go for stupid prices on eBay and to an extent Amazon and your third-party places. And it's so whack. It's so whack. Because like, what if like you bought like season 1 and there was like a promo for like Bodil's Element Converter, for instance? That would be so sick. And then like flash forward, like let's say there was like a DVD that featured Rasnus. Like, you remember the episode where Rasnus turns into a Danian? How cool would it be if like you buy the DVD and you got 2 versions of Rasnus, where like one could be like him looking at like a mirror as his overworld version and all he sees is like the Danian version, and then on the other version of it, it's him as a Danian looking at the mirror and he sees the overworld version. How cool would that be? That would be so sick. Promo cards is like the blood that creates like hype for some people. Like for Powerline Ultra, I've created like certain promos of characters that will never be in sets, but like you could buy it like conventions or whatever. I feel like convention exclusives is the next step. Convention exclusives incentivize people to come on down, check out your stuff. However, I do understand that there is sometimes instances where people cannot travel. I feel like for a limited time, there should be a public way to buy certain cards. So like, let's say you can't make it to the convention and get like the card at like a discounted price. You could like up the price just a little bit so that way people around the world can still get it. I understand there are some people that are like, well, you know, what if, you know, you can't afford it and you were hoping to get that convention price? Well, that's the thing. You pay to get the ticket to go to the convention and attend the event and to participate. The reward for getting that card for cheaper is the fact that you participated and were part of something. And when you can't be part of something, a way to contribute is financially, because these companies, they need to make their money. And that's ultimately the key to all this, is it's money. I feel like promo cards, deck boxes that are themed, sleeves that are themed, dice that are themed, counters that are themed, all these things could be so amazing to have. But we don't have them. And when Chaotic comes back, they're going to be so amazing. They're going to be so sick. And I know Brian Gannon and the team are working so hard to make this a reality for us. It's so amazing that they're willing to give us the time and energy for that. And there have definitely been some things that I've said in the past where I'm like, oh, you know, they're working on this and they're working on that. And truth be told, you know, that's still the case. But highly unfortunately, they're on a time schedule. And so are we. And I know for a fact Chaotic's coming back. Like, I want to do more for it. You know, I want to be able to do bigger voice work for it. I want to be able to do bigger videos for it. I wanted to do bigger art for them or what have you. And I would love to do I would die to do a collaboration for Powerline Ultra with Chaotic, like on an official scale. And granted, Brian Gannon has checked out PLU. He knows what it is. And he follows the page and everything. I just feel like Chaotic, right now it's all a bunch of paperwork stuff, right? When I met Sean Schemmel and I told him that Chaotic was coming back, he was so shocked that it was and that no one contacted him. And the same thing goes for Dan Green. None of them had any idea that it was really coming back. And the conversation with Sean and I ended with me giving him Brian Gannon's information again, and now I guess those two are talking. I don't know what the situation is with them. I hope it goes well. Him and Dan Green both encouraged me to do voiceover work and to push for it. And I really want to do that for Chaotic. So, or at least on their level. Because I'm sure, like, with an opportunity in the future, if I ever even do, like, background work for them or they want to take samples of my work, I'd still be thrilled. Honestly. Like, if I got to work on Chaotic, I'd do it for free. I legitimately would do it for free. I wouldn't ask for anything because I love it that much. And that's the thing. This is a fan making a video because he loves a game. He loves the game so much, he created one of his own that has a similar vibe, similar feel to Chaotic. And I cannot wait for it to come back. And I can't wait to see all of you online playing, not just on Recode, but the official version when it comes. It's going to be so amazing. You guys have no idea. I'm genuinely really excited for it. In my last interview with Gannon, he mentioned like theme park rides and stuff. On one hand, that'd be so cool. It's going to get a lot of attention. But I feel like in Chaotic's longevity, focusing on the card game first, the show second, and everything else third, all the supplementary things, I feel like that's what he should be doing. I feel like that's what Epic Story Media and all them needs to do. Because Chaotic is going to be the first mature franchise. And I have faith in them. With the idea of them doing like shorter episodes, they could do more meaningful stories faster. But there's a thing called quality over quantity. And getting it right, finding a right balance for it is key. And there are some series that do that right. And there are some series that don't. And I have nothing but faith that they can. But given the chance, if I were to write a few things, I definitely would. And there's definitely chances in the future where I will be able to put more voice actors in my videos. Where I'll be able to put certain creators in my videos. For instance, I'm buying some cards off of Rymusa Rudd, and it's been frustrating. Not on his end, on my personal end, because I have to make the money for it. I want to do content with Rudd again. I would love to do videos with him again. I want to do I would love to do a video where him, myself, and Gannon are in a room and we're talking about Chaotic and we're doing something with it together. I would love to do a video with Sean Schemmel asking him what it was like to do Chaotic stuff. I would love to do another video with Dan Green. I would love to do another video with Mark Thompson. I want to meet everybody else who's ever touched Chaotic. And that brings me to my last thing. I think in order to get people more hyped about Chaotic's return outside of all the social media and all the substitute stuff is feedback. The creators and the people working on it need to be able to reach out and go like, hey, thanks for the support. You know, you guys are awesome. Thrilled you're into Chaotic. Here's the next thing. Communication is key. And I understand when you're so big and the demand is so overwhelming, it's hard to keep up. And admittedly, I'm guilty of this, especially for Chaotic, especially for Powerline Ultra. There are certain things that I'm allowed to say on both ends and certain things I'm not. And I keep that up. Communication is key. And I have failed to communicate to you guys. That's my fault. And I own that. And I apologize. Same thing with Powerline Ultra. There's been a few delays in everything. And I sincerely apologize. Everything on Chaotic's end with their delays and stuff, I can't speak for. But I can speak on my hand for Powerline Ultra. And at the end of the day, communication is key. So ultimately what Chaotic should do is either create some sort of communication to the fans, either through people like myself or Rudd or whatever, or directly themselves. Just something to show everything's okay. And I know there's a lot of contracts. I know there's a lot of communication stuff. that has to go behind the scenes. And I know ultimately they weren't ready. Because in the video that A-Game did, bless his heart, I miss you, A-Game. I hope you're doing okay. That was Brian trying to reach out to other people to get help to bring it back. It's not that Chaotic was necessarily ready at the time. It's they were trying to get interest to bring it back. It's not that they were ready to bring it back. It's they're ready to try to bring it back. And there's no more trying. There just is. And that's all there is to it. With that in mind, guys, I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for watching this video. I will get back to the Codemaster Chronicles with Ethan. He just had Lent, and now he's back. I'm very thrilled to have one of my best friends back. I'm very thrilled to be back doing videos, and I'm very thrilled to finally have time to do what I do best, and that's to be just like one of you, a fan. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.